Hi and welcome to CBN4's Primetime News Package for today. I'm the presenter, Alian Christopher. First up today, Joseph Bogdanovich, director of Argyle Industries Inc. in Jamaica, reassured the Dominican population on Monday, "You are not alone." Bogdanovich noted that he and his team were profoundly moved by the destruction of the hurricane upon their arrival in Dominica and has promised to do their best for the hurricane-hit island.
You're not alone. We understand just how strong and devastating this challenge is for all of you. We've experienced this in Jamaica with Hurricane Gilbert, probably before many of you were born. But we know what that power is and the kind of support we got from the Caribbean neighbors and others. And we just want you to know that we're here with you and we're going to do the best we can. Thank you.
The director further indicated that Argyle Industries will be focusing on a number of key areas as it relates to assisting Dominica.
We went to a few schools today, and you know, you have to begin with the youth because they are the future. And what we saw with the schools and the roofs being knocked off and a variety of books being damaged and just everything, we're looking at identifying a few schools to see what we can do to really get some reconstruction done quickly, get the kids back to school and continue their education. That's one. Two, we haven't seen the hospitals yet, but healthcare is very important, and we're looking forward to seeing that later on in our visit.
Bogdanovich also notes that above the other islands, Dominica is top of his company's list.
Well, you know, there's something about Dominica that we in Jamaica can understand. First of all, you have topography that's very, very beautiful, and the people here are very, very nice. And you're an island that doesn't have a lot of help, and we recognize that, and we think that we understand you in a way that maybe others don't, and we want you to thrive, and we think that we can help you there, you know, with not only with money and with goods, but with your spirit. We're in the entertainment business. We believe that unity through music is important. We believe that music can actually help heal the souls, and we believe that we can bring a lot to the table, a lot more than just we in Jamaica, but to a community of the Caribbean and perhaps some really big international banks.
Director of Argyle Industries Inc., Joseph Bogdanovich. And the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Planning, Economic Development and Investment, Gloria Joseph, on behalf of the government of Dominica, expressed gratitude towards the government of Jamaica for their tremendous support shown to Dominica in the wake of Hurricane Maria.
The government of Dominica is indeed thankful to Jamaica, the government and people of Jamaica, for their continued partnership in the early days following Hurricane Maria, and also ongoing as we've moved from our relief period into the recovery and reconstruction of Dominica. We have received exceptional support from Jamaica, from its people at all levels, and also from CARICOM and the OECS. And so we extend our gratitude for the continued support and intervention.
Dominica also received assistance from the Jamaica Defense Force as soldiers assisted in the relief effort on the island following the passage of Hurricane Maria. A minister responsible for trade, energy and employment and parliamentary representative for the Portsmouth constituency, Honorable Ian Douglas, has stated that Dominica can source skilled labor by looking within the CARICOM and the OECS. Douglas said, "The more we think of Dominica as being part of the Caribbean community and also being part of the Caribbean single market and economy makes it easier for one to realize that Dominica does not stand alone, but as one with the other member states of the CARICOM and the CSME."
Antiquans and St. Lucians, Jamaicans and Barbadians, St. Kitts and Trinidadians are entitled to come to Dominica to seek employment, just as Dominicans are entitled to go to those territories and those regions to work. And so I believe that the countries that are not in the rebuilding mode because they were not hit by the hurricane season of 2017 can in fact come to Dominica to lend a hand, really, not to seek employment alone, but we need the manpower and we need the labor in Dominica at this point in time. So I don't necessarily think, if you think of Dominica as being part of the CSME, I don't necessarily think there's a labor shortage. I mean, it's how you look at it. If Dominica is your oyster and you only look at myopically only at the Dominica situation, yes, we need workers there because of the extent of the rebuilding process that has been undertaken now by the government. But if we look further afield to the rest of CARICOM and to the rest of the OECS, I believe that that labor can be sourced.
Lately, there has been talks of Dominica lacking in skilled workers, and Douglas believes that Dominica can be boosted with skilled workers through the CSME and CARICOM. And stay tuned, we'll be right back with more news after this break.
If you're HIV positive or have an STI, having unprotected sex with multiple partners puts them in grave danger. You'll expose every partner and their present and future partners to HIV or another STI. Use a condom every time you have sex. You can live a productive life even if diagnosed with HIV. Remember, early detection is key to your survival. Be responsible, protect yourself and others. Help stop the spread of HIV and other STIs.
And welcome back. Radio talk show host of the Hot Seat and Talk on the Block on Q95 FM, Matt Peltier, has stated that the president of the Dominica Media and Communications Association, Gavin Richards, should apologize and come clean in relation to comments made in a WhatsApp conversation between the two gentlemen. Peltier indicated that he was told by Richards that he was being dishonest about the government's invitations to the media press briefings and other functions. The radio talk show host further stated that it was Q95 who were invited to the function at the government building and not Matt Peltier.
Q95 is not Matt Peltier. So I guess, you know, I was having a nice friendly conversation with Gavin, and Gavin chose to, in that conversation, the very conversation which I shared on the media this afternoon, to refer to both Carlisle and myself as damn asses. In the media, I can share with you. So I told him, my friend, I'm going to share this with the public, which I did this afternoon. So he was, you know, very upset. He called me back and was trying to explain himself.
Matt further mentioned that the point remains that the new DMCA president is disrespectful and it won't be accepted.
Apologize and come straight, because this should not happen with the media. I've never, ever in my, close to 30 years in the media as a senior person, disrespected anybody. All I have tried to do is to help and assist. So Gavin Richards, the new president of the Media Association, has to take his words back. And he referred to it as being unethical, what he shared with me in a WhatsApp post. But I said, no, Gavin, this has to be made public, because if we're talking about people, we have to talk about the media as well. And this is just what I did this afternoon on my show, The Talk on the Block.
CBN4 then contacted the DMCA president, who chose to have written comments on the matter. Gavin Richards noted that this is a very unethical practice from a senior journalist. He further noted that it is common knowledge that private chats or recordings are not to be aired to the public. This behavior, Gavin said, betrays the confidence that sources will have in the media. Richards also indicated that he referred to Matt, a useless donkey, in response to allegations that the newly formed DMCA held no elections at its AGM on Saturday. The DMCA president also indicated that he never cursed Matt Peltier over the issue of Bill Clinton being here in Dominica, but over the DMCA general elections. CBN4 has since obtained the WhatsApp chat. It was also brought to our attention that Peltier went on the media, the talk on the block, and deliberately misinterpreted the conversation for his own personal agenda. Gavin also indicated that Peltier, when confronted on air about the development, could not give a definite answer as to whether or not he received the mail from the office of the Prime Minister. Richards further added that the evidence clearly shows Q95 FM and Matt Peltier were invited, and that he had simply asked Matt in the WhatsApp chat why he was misleading the public. However, CBN4 can confirm that journalist Matt Peltier and also Carlisle John Baptist will send individual invitations to the press briefing at the office of the Prime Minister, which featured former President of the United States of America, Bill Clinton. And also, while speaking of Bill Clinton, the former president has stated that Dominica in particular and the wider Caribbean can lead the world in producing clean power and be the first sustainable region of the world. Clinton gave special thanks to the government of Norway for 6 years that they have made it possible for the Clinton Foundation's participation in clean power.
Believed when we first asked them that Dominica in particular and the Caribbean in general could lead the world to a whole new way of producing clean power, reducing the threat of climate change, and improving the economy of developing countries. And they bought the argument I was making that the Caribbean could literally lead the way, that we had a chance to make this the first sustainable region of the world. And now the Prime Minister has said, beginning with his great speech to the UN, that he wants Dominica to be the first totally climate resilient country on Earth.
Clinton also noted that the population beginning in Dominica has the change the proof. Clinton also noted that the population beginning in Dominica has the chance to prove that the Caribbean can be more prosperous by building resilient homes and structures, more prosperous with plentiful green power sold at lower costs.
In other words, you can change the whole preconception. I have watched country after country after country in the Caribbean held back with the highest electric rates in the world because they insisted on continuing years after they should have the old model of importing heavy oil or diesel when there were ample solar, wind, and in your case, geothermal resources available to deal with it. And all over the world, people face this economic choice every day. Would I rather sell 10 things at $100 a piece, giving $1,000, or 10,000 things at $10 a piece, giving $100,000. And if you just sell them at $11 a piece, you're way better off. That's the economic choice. The environmental choice is not clear. We have to prove that we can stop rising sea levels. We have to prove that we can fight the most destructive impacts of climate change, and we have to prove we can do it and make it good economics. That's the bottom line. That's what all this is about. Everything you will read from here on out. How are the details going on the geothermal project?
President Clinton visited Dominica on Tuesday, where he attended a press briefing and then made stops at the Pichile and Soufriere communities. And also in the news, General Secretary of the Dominica Public Service Union, Thomas Later, has indicated that public officers are concerned about not being eligible to obtain funds from an $18 million grant assistance funded by the World Bank. Speaking to CBN4 during an interview, later noted that his belief was once you are a farmer, this grant would assist in enhancing production. The General Secretary also mentioned that a number of public officers are involved in farming and utilize their own personal funds to maintain their operations, some of whom employ other persons on their farms.
They employ people, and I believe it is very unfair that they were denied that level of or that form of assistance. The fact is, when they were never told before that they were not eligible. They were encouraged to go to the whole process of being registered. So they did fill the registration form. They got assistance. They were informed when they made their inquiries. They were informed that they were on the list. In a lot of instances, they were even advised or told what level of assistance that they would be getting. I understand that a number of them, when they went to receive the checks, although the checks were in the possession, I understand, of the people distributing, they were told that because they are public officers and they are employed, they could not get that check. That cannot be fair. I am aware of other public officers who did receive that level of assistance.
Also said that he is aware of other public officers who received assistance from the World Bank funded grant.
Public officers who did receive that level of assistance. So I am confused as to what is happening. In addition to that, I mean, I will not call names, but I am aware, and it's not hearsay, I am aware, totally aware, of a number of people who are not involved in farming at all, who are not involved in farming whatsoever. And they got the assistance. I know of people from my own community who do not even have a plot of land that can accommodate a house. They are totally not involved in farming. They do not visit a farm. They do not go to what we call a garden, but yet still they were provided with that grant. And to me, that is not right. If you're providing assistance for farming, but there are other people who are not engaged in farming, who are not involved in farming, but you need to help them, then you could help them in some other way. But you cannot help them as farmers when they are not farmers. And to me, that is a big issue. The number of people who have registered as farmers, definitely the country does not have all those people.
Later further stated that this is wrong and needs to be urgently investigated.
Produce. So that has gone. So those people who are involved in agriculture, like the public officers, they should be encouraged. But when you are denying them of that level of assistance, that form of assistance, it's not encouraging at all. So yes, I believe that is going to discourage people, because while they have been denied, they look around and they see some people who are not involved in agriculture at all. At all. Privately, I can mention some names, but I will not say so publicly. And they are involved in agriculture. In addition to that, there are some public officers who were given the assistance. So that is why I'm saying I am confused. I am confused, and that matter needs to be investigated.
Under the Agricultural Emergency Response Grant, 900 farmers are expected to receive EC $10,000 each, while 3,032 farmers are expected to receive $3,000 each from the World Bank funded program. An MP for the Mahu constituency, Rayburn Blackmore, has revealed plans to relocate those considered most vulnerable from the small community of Campbell. The community for years has been prone to a number of landslides. At a recent constituency meeting held in Massac, Blackmore stated that the government is going to construct some houses for the people of Campbell. MP noted that Campbell is a place that has to be taken seriously and be relocated in a gradual process. CBN4 visited the village of Campbell. Here's Marisa Stedman to tell you more.
Communities like Campbell were seldom spoken of. Very few people knew where Campbell was located before the passage of Tropical Storm Erica and now again Hurricane Maria in 2017. But we have been told, it is a known fact, that Campbell is now considered a community that is very prone to landslides. Some even consider it unsafe for living conditions. And recently, at a meeting held in the community of Campbell, the parliamentary representative, Mr. Rayburn Blackmore, indicated that persons who are most vulnerable, we are referring to elderly persons, those persons whose houses are built directly over landslides or cliffs, they are the ones set to be relocated first to Warner Flat. As to where in Warner, we are not sure. There's no indication as to the exact location where they will be relocated to, but we can tell you this. CBN4 is attempting to find out how are the villagers feeling about this initiative. How will they respond? Do they agree that they need to be relocated to Warner Flat as a means of protecting themselves and property? Now you may be wondering what could have brought these people to these distant parts in Dominica that is now subject to so many landslides. Well, we do not need a history lesson, but we can tell you this, that Campbell is made up of 5 different areas. We're talking about Tetmon, Gwinnett, Andrew Lane, Windblow, and Lordborough. I'm at Lordborough right now, and in 2015, that very location where I'm standing, there was a huge concrete house that was completely washed away by the river. This is the river that we are referring to. Presently, it appears that it poses no threat. But again, Dominica is a country that experiences high seasons of rainfall. And Campbell, being situated in a rainforest area, is subject to more rainfall than usual. And during high seasons of rainfall, particularly during our hurricane season, the residents of Campbell are particularly concerned about the amount of water that they are subject to. We're talking about streams that emerge from nowhere. We're talking about the rivers posing a threat to all who live close to it and even those who appear to be at a distance. So for now, CBN4 needs to find out, how do the villagers feel about relocation? According to the parliamentary representative, Mr. Blackmore, in 2015, after the passage of Tropical Storm Erica, if you would have spoken about relocating, everyone would have jumped on board with the idea. But again, as persons' lives resume back to normalcy, they get preoccupied with their daily routines and they are no longer concerned about living in a disaster-prone area. And now with Hurricane Maria just having passed in 2017, how do the villagers respond to what has just occurred? Are they still eager to move, or have they resumed to life as normal? Here beside me is a local businessman from the community of Campbell. He has been operating a small shop here for many years. Well-known gentleman in the community of Campbell, and he's about to tell us how he feels about the initiative to relocate those most vulnerable to Warner Flat. Thank you for speaking to CBN4. Can you state your name, please?
I'm Rod Alphonse from Campbell.
Tell us, Mr. Alphonse, how do you think the villagers have responded? Do you think that they are willing to move to Warner Flat, those most vulnerable?
Well, some, but not all.
Why do you think that is?
Because most people comfortable at their home. When you leave and go, they'll put you, they put you, but you don't comfortable.
How about you? What is your opinion? Would you move?
Well, me, I don't go in nowhere. I die in where God put me. I have my spot, I cooling out. You have to die, I taking it there, no problem.
Thank you for speaking to CBN4 News.
My name is Teresa S.P. from Campbell.
Nice to meet you, Miss Teresa. Yes, but we do want to know. The parliamentary representative, Mr. Blackmore, he made a statement. He had a recent meeting here in Campbell, and he announced that they are going to start to move those most vulnerable persons from Campbell to Warner. How do you feel about that?
I don't go in.
Why?
I'm not going. When I go on, I leave my house there. Who that going and build one for me, Warner? Nobody, because I haven't got a husband to build a house for me. I'm not going, Warner.
So if the government was to build a house for you. They construct it, they do all of the repairs, they put electricity, they put water, you have a nice little garden lot. Would you move to Warner?
Yes. Yes, I'll move. But now, nobody don't helping me, I'm not going.
And how do you think most persons in Campbell think? Do you think that most persons who are going to be asked to be relocated will move?
I don't know about that. Trust me, in Jesus' name, I don't know.
If you were told that you are one selected to move to Warner Flat, would you move?
No, nobody advised me to leave Campbell.
Why is that?
I know my duty and my figure.
Do you think that most people share your same opinion, that they agree? Do you think most people in Campbell would not want to move?
Maybe. You might do it.
Thank you very much.
The place is not good, totally.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that Campbell is not good?
No, because I make an assessment and I see exactly what I measure. I measure 724 feet across, 920 feet upright, across again 600. So, and all this land is going down. That is the center of Campbell. It is coming down. And then if you watch the main road, you can see every minute a piece is broken. It's coming down. There is a wall. The wall burst and it's moving up. It's shifting at the back. Right. The water from the drain is going under. Sorry. And then that is what we can see. What about what we cannot see? Okay. The thing is that totally people, that's some houses that demolish already. That go down. But you see the system of housing scheme. Campbell people not interested in that. Housing scheme. What they're asking, just give us a privilege. I want to go to one. I want to go to Campbell East. That one to go this road. Let the person give their views and their choice. You understand? But the business of going to housing scheme. Why not let us say I have a house of 55 by 45, and to leave that house and to go to one or maybe a 20 or something, and then I'm a farmer. I can't do nothing in the place. Bad neighbors. That's a generous system.
I do want to ask, there was a recent meeting held by the parliamentary representative in the community of Campbell, Mr. Blackman. At that meeting, he stated that the relocation is going to begin with those that are most vulnerable, those persons who lost their homes entirely, the elderly folks, those with children. Now, those persons, are you aware, because you are one of the contractors who is said to be on that project, will they receive an entire house or will they be put in an apartment building, such as what you have just stipulated?
Well, what he showed, it is a housing scheme, you know, not really apartment. If it was apartment, maybe it would be better. But let us say everybody going to get a little house, which he show us the plan, that everybody is going to get something, one on top of the other, how they saying it. And then it's not looking proper for people, you know, either people that's looking like housing scheme, right? Like we're building that house for that person. A man like that can't go in housing scheme. But a person who, let us say, is a farmer and then he free, independent, to put that person in housing scheme, just to tell us, look for somewhere that we can get a person of half an acre of land and something, and the government will help us by that.
CBN4 is still attempting to speak to more residents from the community of Campbell. Here beside me is an elderly gentleman, Mr. Tavernier. He lost his entire home as a result of Hurricane Maria, and as we speak right now, a home is being constructed for him near the Campbell Primary School. Tell us, Mr. Tavernier, how do you feel about the initiative to move persons who are vulnerable from Campbell to Warner Flat?
Well, if I Campbell, and Campbell do good, they put me one. It is a still little place It's a place.
And you mentioned to me, you were asking me, what do I feel about the home?
About the home down there.
What do you feel?
So, I asked you to, if there is a good place. So you tell me you don't know. But I said, if they put me there still, I still there for the time. I don't know for other time. But for that time, I there. Because all now, look at where I stay, and that's no good.
Tell me, do you think most people in Campbell, those who are vulnerable, those who are said to be living over cliffs, over precipices, that they would move if they were given the opportunity to move to Warner?
Well, I hear some of them say, well, they're not leaving the place to go. They cannot leave the place to go because all around is the same place. But I cannot take out what they're saying because it's go, I shall go in.
Thank you very much. There you have it, Mr. Tavernier. Like we said, mixed emotion, mixed feelings from the residents of Campbell. Some people argue that the government may never be able to give them what they have already worked for. Others argue that Campbell is just a dangerous area and they will be more than happy to move from this location. Marissa Stedman reporting from Campbell, CBN4 News.
And thank you, Marissa, for that report. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more news coming up after this break.
If you're HIV positive or have an STI, having unprotected sex with multiple partners puts them in grave danger. You'll expose every partner and their present and future partners to HIV or another STI. Use a condom every time you have sex. You can live a productive life even if diagnosed with HIV. Remember, early detection is key to your survival. Be responsible, protect yourself and others. Help stop the spread of HIV and other STIs.
And thank you for staying with us. The lineup for this year's 2018 Calypso final is in. The reigning Calypso King, Caressa, will seek to defend his crown at number 7, while 8-time Calypso Monarch Dice sings at number 9. The 8 other Calypsonians are Scrunter at number 1, followed by Chris B at number 2, Stefan at 3, Sai at 4, Tasha P to sing at number 5, JD in at 6, while Hexie originally got number 6 but switched with JD, and Hexie will be singing at 8 and the Bob to sing at number 10. The public relations officer at the Dominica Calypso Association, Davidson Observer Victor, highlighted that the association is grateful to have 10 good Calypsonians in the Calypso finals and notes that the patrons are in for a treat.
It's one of the years not boasting or not just saying things I think people want to hear. But I believe in my heart that this year, the second round songs that came out, 95% of the songs are very good songs, and I think that in itself lends for a very competitive Calypso finals.
Saturday's show will be held at the Newtown Savannah. At a recent tour, the Prime Minister of Dominica, the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, stated that the residents of Checkhole are very pleased and satisfied with the works that has been done in the area thus far. Skerrit said that a team of experts were brought in to advise the government on what mitigation mechanism that can be implemented in the Massac area and other areas across Dominica that are vulnerable to flooding.
So we'll be following diligently the advice that the experts have given to us. So over the next days and weeks, you will see an improvement in the measures that we have started. As I said, we have stabilized the areas, as you see, because a few days ago, as the residents would tell you, they couldn't have gotten to their homes, and those who tried did it at their own at serious cost to themselves. So, but now you could drive through the entire Checkhole area with no difficulties. But the next step is to go in there, harvest the huge rocks, place them along the riverbank to assist in mitigating against the flooding and to dredge the entire river.
The Prime Minister made clear that there has been no determination on the relocation of Massac. Skerrit reiterated that the government is being guided by experts who informs of the areas that are most vulnerable and residents who may need urgent relocation.
Based on the advice given by the hydrologist, we can mitigate against the flooding that has taken place there during Erica and during Maria. And that would involve placing boulders in some areas, and that will involve the construction of retaining walls. You will have gone there yourself, and you can see over time, by human action, we have narrowed the path of the water. We know to expand it, to go back to this original width, to allow for the volume of water to flow much more easily than that.
The Parrot Conservation and Research Center at the Botanic Gardens has announced that rescued parrots after Hurricane Maria have received the medical care and nutrition that they required to be able to return to the wild. The Conservation and Research Center announced that they were able to return 4 Jaco parrots back to the wild. Manager of the International Fund for Animal Welfare, Shannon Walaitis, said the birds received perfect scores on their health assessments. Walaitis also indicated that 8 birds are still out in rehabilitative care and require more time.
Unfortunately, the parrots that are still in rehabilitation are going to need a little bit more time here. They are not quite strong enough to be released back to the wild. They do have some damaged tail feathers, which is how they steer. So very important to make sure that they are ready, and that will probably require a molting season. So we have to be patient, and over the next few months we'll be able to watch as they begin and continue through the molting cycle, and we'll have tail feathers that are proper for flying.
Walaitis further noted that the parrots in rehabilitation will continue to receive enrichment. They will also be introduced to fruits that can be found in the wild. And that takes us to the end of the Primetime News package for today. On behalf of the entire CBN4 team, I am Alan Christopher saying thank you for watching.